Legends, welcome along to a new episode. Now, in the last few videos, my office fell apart in one of them while recording, and the phone kept bleeping through the recording of another one. So what is going to go wrong with this episode? Let's get into it and see what happens. Legends, welcome along to another little review in the Laurel and Hardy box set. This is Fluttering Hearts from 1927. It is a Charlie Chase short film, and it's co-stars Oliver Hardy before he met, before Hal Roach teamed him up with Stan Laurel. There's a lot of that stuff in the box set, like earlier shorts that they were involved in, not as a double act, but as themselves basically, and this is one of the better ones in my opinion. It's basically the story of Charlie Chase. His character is, he was known for like these little romantic sort of based shorts back in the day, and he gets embroiled in a situation of trying to help a girl's father out of being blackmailed by a gangster sort. The gangster being Oliver Hardy. Well, it doesn't really say he's a gangster, but he's like, he's either a gangster or a guy who's just trying his luck. But either way, he has a letter on this guy that he's threatening to go to the newspapers with and destroy him. And yes, through a whole set of slapstick moments, Charlie Chase gets involved with this man's daughter, eventually ends up becoming the chauffeur to this man, and she wants him to, do what he can to help her father out of this situation. So he's trying everything to get this letter back for the father by the end of this movie. That's basically the gist of the film. A lot of slapstick moments in here. Charlie Chase is absolutely brilliant in this movie. There's a few of his shorts in this box set, and this is probably one of the better ones. It also stars, let me see, that's Charlie Chase, of course, Oliver Hardy, Martha Sleeper as the daughter, William Buress as the father who's getting blackmailed by Oliver Hardy, Eugene Pallette, the motorcycle cop. Yes, such a good movie. The best parts of this film for me are the bits with Oliver Hardy, and of course, I'm a big Laurel and Hardy fan. Of course, I'm going to gravitate towards the Oliver Hardy parts in this movie, but the part in this movie where he is in it is absolutely hilarious. You can see why both him and Stan Laurel, if you see them separate from each other and other shorts other than their own, it's obvious to see how these pair eventually would get teamed up as a double act. Really shines out in this movie for him in particular. Throughout the film, Charlie Chase is in a couple of situations where he has to, first of all, help out the daughter. She gets pulled over by a motorcycle cop earlier on in the film, and he helps the policeman chase her down, and when he does see her, starts to fall instantly in love with her, and he talks the policeman out of actually, taking charges out on her. And there's a sale going on in a store. She wants to get hold of some sheets, and she wants free sets, but the sale is only one per customer, so she manages to talk Chase and the policeman into actually helping her get these sheets, which leads into a whole sequence where they have to fight their way through this crowd of crazy women that are trying to buy all these sheets. And it's like a Black Friday event. You've seen those videos where the store doors open up and the crowd stampedes in and there's a killing match to get everything. Essentially what's happening in this sequence in the movie. By the time that's finished, they're all good friends chase the policeman, this girl, and their clothes are in tatters because of what they've just went through. And another policeman comes up and rips the badge off the policeman that was helping out chasing this girl in the store, and he's disgusted with him because of, it's just not a professional thing for him to be doing as a policeman. And that leads to him and Chase challenging each other to a fight, and Chase won't do it. He's like, I'm a gentleman, I'll not fight in the street, but let's go find an alley. And as if they're off to do that, there's this random guy on the side of the street that's like, oh yes, I'm going to see a fight here. So he's following them down to see what happens, and he ends up getting a chop in the mouth by the policeman. And then those two go at it, and the last we see of both those characters is the policeman running for his life and this guy chasing him up the alley. This leads into Chase meeting the father of this girl, and yes, she says, you have to act like you're, a working man. Like, he's only interested in me being with someone who's got a future. So he goes to stand in the doorway of an employment agency, basically, and he's got this cap with him that looks like a chauffeur's cap, and that's what the father came looking for, to hire a chauffeur. So he ends up hiring Chase, and yes, the daughter is like, I really need you to impress father, so do everything you can to help him out. This is the point within the movie we find out he's been blackmailed by Oliver Hardy's character. So off him and Chase go to try and get this letter off Oliver Hardy's character. And the place where he's at, Coffee Joe's, you're only allowed in there if you've got a female with you, couples only sort of a joint. So first of all, Chase tries to dress up the father in a dress and get them into the restaurant, which is a place that I would love to go to if it was actually in real life, because it's like a basement setup, and when you open this door, the entry door into the place, there's a slide that takes you down into the restaurant. I would love that there. That would be my place to hang out. Just the big kid in me was just like, I seen that, like, I want it to happen so bad. So yes, they get in, but as they're going down the slide, the father's dressed up in this dress and wig and everything on him, makeup. As he slides down, the skirt, of course, comes up, and you can see that he's actually wearing trousers below the dress. So the bouncers get the two of them thrown out of the restaurant, and basically the father spends the rest of the movie getting chased by a policeman that's been coming down the street, and they're like, catch him, that guy is actually a woman. So off the policeman goes to arrest the father, and as I say, rest of the movie, he's kind of getting chased around the city by this policeman. Chase, on the other hand, he's still back at the restaurant, and the dress shop next door to this restaurant where they got the father dressed up as, of course, has mannequins in the window, and he gets one of them and uses it to pretend that it's like a drunk girlfriend. And the acting that he does of this mannequin and the movements of it are fantastic. He eventually manages to get into the restaurant and uses the mannequin. He has the mannequin and he's dancing in the restaurant, and he's using the mannequin to get Oliver Hardy's attention. And he's like, with his back to Oliver, he has the mannequin looking over his shoulder, and he's kind of like using his own hand over his own shoulder, and he's kind of waving towards Oliver, and Oliver thinks it's a woman. So he manages to excuse himself from his own date, sends her off to do something, phone home and check out and the cat's okay sort of deal, and he comes over to the table to chat up this woman, which is a mannequin. And this is a brilliant little sequence in the movie where, Charlie Chase is sitting on the table across from Oliver, but he's hiding himself underneath the coat that this mannequin is wearing. But he has his sleeves rolled up, and he has the hands pushed through the mannequin, and he's, his own hands are doing all these movements to, make Hardy think that the mannequin is actually a real woman, which is working out, and he confesses that he's got a letter that it's going to make him rich. He's trying to impress this young woman, and yes, Chase basically manages at one point to get the letter off Oliver and put it down the inside of the dress of the mannequin, and that leads to a bit of a confrontation between Oliver and the mannequin. Basically, he actually ends up pulling the gun and shooting the mannequin, and Chase jumps up from behind the table where he's been hiding at, and he's like, he killed her and whatnot, and he's pretending to be heartbroken and distraught that this woman has been killed, but it's only a mannequin. And as he is, the mannequin is lying across the top of a table at this point, and he's got his face buried in his back, and he's pretending to cry, and then the head falls off the mannequin. He's been caught out. That leads to a scuffle in the restaurant where Oliver Hardy, the people that work there, they're throwing plates and cups and beer bottles at Chase, and he's trapped in a corner, and he's using this bass drum from the band as a shield. And this part absolutely killed me. Oliver throws this bottle, and the camera shot that we're getting as the audience is from behind Ollie, and he throws this bottle at Chase. Chase lifts the drum to protect himself. The bottle hits the drum, bounces straight back, and hits Oliver square in the forehead. Laughed my ass off. That was so well done. Brilliant. Basically, by the end of the movie, Chase escapes, and they manage to get the letter back to the husband. But there's something that just didn't make sense to me, and it's a nitpicky thing. There's a woman that comes in close to the end of the movie, and she switches places with the mannequin and has the envelope that the father is after it down her own dress, and she gets carried out in place of the mannequin leading up to the end of the movie. And then, of course, as Chase goes thinking it's the mannequin to get the letter out at the end of the film, it's actually a real woman. He gets slapped in the face, and we kind of cut out there. So, I actually played it back for a second time because it wasn't clear on who this woman was. At the end of the movie, that takes the place of the mannequin, how she knew the letter was in there, because anything that was, would have shown you what was going on happened previous to her actually coming into the restaurant. So it's something that just wasn't explained that well, and very nitpicky. I know it is a slapstick movie, Hal Roach movie, and it is what it is. It is a brilliant little film, and very, very satisfied with it. I like Laurel and Hardy as a team. So the films where they're not a team, not really the sort of things that appeal to me to actually watch in this box set. But I have watched them all, and over the next 2 days I'll have watched everything in this box set, and there's nothing in here that I'm not disappointed with. But this one here, Oliver Hardy in this movie, is absolutely brilliant, and Chase is great too. Might have to go back and check out some more of his stuff at some point. So definitely this box set is, I'm going to be sorry to finish it because this is, but that's Laurel and Hardy. They never get old.